Hey listeners, Jeff Zinfer. Welcome to this episode of Mortgage Marketing Radio. And you're either listening to my voice or you're watching me on the video right now. How you doing? So part of what I'm doing is actually following my own advice and starting to do more video. Video is where it's at. I need to do more video, so I'm taking my own advice, and you're going to see more videos coming from me. And in this case, what I'm doing is it's a great lesson for you in content marketing and content production. Is create multiple chunks of content from one source. Case in point, this example here, I'm creating both a podcast episode, if you're listening to just the audio, but I'm also creating a video of it as well, because we're recording the video portion of this, and therefore I'm able to get a bigger bang for my buck out of my time and start to add more video content to my various social media sites, platforms, destinations, and so forth to build the larger brand. So anyway, as you can see here, if you're watching the video, this might make you curious to come watch it, right? I've set this video up, not a fancy setup, just me and a laptop and the same mic I use for the podcast and the headphones. That's all I'm doing so far. And I got this set up in my little casita here that's outside of the house that I'm renting. And the good news is this casita is already set up. The person who actually owns this house used to have a music studio in here. So you can see, if you're watching the video, what you can see is a lot of the soundproofing, right? In the ceiling, on the windows, and on the doors. So that creates a better audio experience than in my office, which is echoey. So from now on, I'll be shooting videos in here and recording when I can, and more good videos and content to come. Would love to hear from you guys what you want to hear and learn when it comes to digital marketing content, how it can help you be more successful. So speaking of that leads us into a nice transition into this week's guest. We're talking about video. My special guest is Kris McWilliams, mortgage broker owner of EST Mortgage in the lovely state of Michigan. And I asked Kris to be here and be on video because he does a weekly show called the Mortgage Marketing Minute. And he's really grown his viewership, his engagement. And I wanted Kris just kind of walk us through, how he got started, how he got overcame perhaps the reluctance he might have had early on in the process, and how does he do it? What tools does he use? Does he use his phone? What kind of editing does he do? How does he map out his content? How does he promote it? And what's the overall impact it's had to his business? So that's why I asked Kris to be here. We just do a quick deep dive. We just grab the camera, set up the microphone, hit record, nothing fancy, and we're bringing it to you. There we go. So that is it. And links to Kris's website and stuff in the show notes. You can look him up, Kris McWilliams, on Facebook. That's KrisMcWilliams, or his website, esthomemortgage.com. That said, let's get over into this week's show. Kris, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks for having me. Welcome. Hey. Glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. As you can see, we're doing video. Everybody who's watching, I'm wanting to do more video. That's why I asked Kris to be here, because the podcast has largely been audio for quite a while, but I recognize the importance of us doing video. So bringing Kris here to talk about the Mortgage Minute videos he does. So let's just get into it. Real quickly, tell those that are watching or listening, where are you at in the country? How long have you been in the business?
Yeah, so in Kalamazoo, Michigan, which is on the west side of the state, and been in the business for going on 16 years this year. I started in an operations role and then morphed into a sales position in 2012. So.
All right, so 2012 started in sales. All right, and what's the source of most of your business?
Realtor business is probably 70% of my business. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you've caught my eye because for some reason you're on my Facebook feed, and every time you do a video, I get a notice that you got a new video, which is cool because you're doing the Mortgage Minutes. And let's start from the beginning. Why did you start to do video, and how long have you been doing it?
So I started with video with Mortgage Coach, right? That was my introduction to video, and that really kind of gave me that first comfort level of being on video first, right? Because you're sending video to clients, which is, a smaller audience, right? Yeah. And so it's just you and the potential 1 or 2 clients. Right. And so that's a good, entry level into some video if you have a little nervousness about going on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, to kind of start. And then once I got a little better and more comfortable, just doing the Mortgage Coach Edge presentation, then I wanted to take it up a notch to, doing some Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn.
Hmm.
And so started the social media platforms in, must have been late 2015, probably was when I started doing the social media videos. So.
Late 2015. Okay. And so what helped? Look, you've heard it before, and I'm sure you faced it, the whole, I don't like how I look on video and the road, the mental roadblocks. What would you advise to people that are struggling to start with video?
I would start with make a video with your dog or your kids, right? And that's the easiest way to do it. Just work with iMovie or any of the other platforms that are out there, and just use a video that you got and say, hey, if I did some transitions or I did some basic titling, right? What would that look like? And I think that's something good to start with, and then make it a good segue then into potential business. So.
And are you saying that just to practice and not post it, or to also post it?
If you like it, post it. If you don't like it, then don't post it, right? That's how, yeah.
Yeah, but the point is just get started and start working those muscles of using video, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
That's cool. While you're talking, I'm just going to your YouTube page here as well. So let's talk about this. You do kind of your becoming known for, your mortgage, what do you call them? Mortgage Minute videos?
Yep, Mortgage Minute.
Mortgage Minute. How often do you do them?
I typically do them once a week. Yep.
Once a week on the same day every week, ideally?
Ideally, same day every week. I try to post it on Friday mornings every week on that. And yep, so that's my schedule on that.
Okay, so every Friday. And how do you choose what to talk about?
So I am in a BNI group, right? That's a source of my business. And so I typically do my dry run of my Mortgage Minute on my Thursday morning of my BNI.
That's nice. You get to test it out, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And then I come back from BNI on Thursday. First thing I do before I even turn on my computer, I do the recording of the Mortgage Minute that I just did in my presentation in person, right?
Uh-huh.
And so then I go in and I do that on my iPhone and just here in the office, and then edit that in iMovie, and then I post it on Friday.
So, and I know before we hit record, you've got the tripod right in front of you. Do me a favor and do a quick spin. Just show people where your tripod is sitting, because people are curious.
So,
all right. Yep.
Just your normal everyday tripod that you can get at your local camera store.
Yeah, and you don't have a microphone hooked up because you're close enough where the audio's good.
Mm-hmm.
You've got good natural lighting in there, which is good. Okay, so how do you? So you're rehearsing it in your BNI. That's cool. And then you're not rehearsing it again. You're just hitting record and go.
No, I did. So it's a good question, right? So I back it up. I do one dry run before I record.
Okay.
And so I typically say, I go through the whole pitch just to make sure, and I try to do it just like we would do it today, right? Like we're just having a casual conversation with a friend. If I was going to give them a short 60-second advice on one little mortgage topic, right? Like that's how I try to do it.
Yep.
So that's how I go through it. And then the second time I just hit the record button and go through it. I'm typically, 1 or 2 takes tops. So
you've gotten much better at reducing the amount of takes.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And less conscientious of small flubs, right? If it's a very small thing, I don't even worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
Because people aren't going to, call you out on it. So.
It's called being human. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. That's awesome. And then you said on iMovie. So do you edit right on your phone?
Nope, I do transfer it to the Mac. I like editing on the MacBook rather than the iPhone. It's just a little easier for me to do on that front. So I transfer the video from my phone to the MacBook, just via the cloud transfer, right? Mm-hmm. And then, open it up and edit it in iMovie. So. And
then you're also uploading that same video to your YouTube channel?
I do, yeah, yep. So, and some of the mechanics there I learned along the way. Like once you share the movie, your movie in iTheater, then you can save a hard copy to your phone. And I do upload it to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube from the phone rather than directly from the share button on the MacBook, as you tend to get a better upload on all those different social sites from the mobile.
Got it. Got it. Man, yeah, you've got a good amount of videos out there now.
Yeah, yep. I got a few out there now, and always trying to put a little bit more out there. So, and thinking about that in the future. So,
Have you yet experimented with boosting any of your videos?
I have. I've done 2 boosts on that, and one was a animated video
Mm-hmm.
that came directly, from United Wholesale. They have a great marketing team that you partner up with when you're a mortgage broker.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have not boosted any of the Mortgage Minute videos though. So.
And for those that are listening, I didn't say this earlier, but your Facebook page is facebook.com/EST Home Mortgage. So that's clearly your business page. Are you doing any videos on your personal page?
I am, yeah. So most of the Mortgage Minute has been on my personal page, not on my business page. And that's done very strategically, right? I am trying to influence my personal friends on my personal page because, right, we know from the algorithm, it's more likely that your video would be seen on your personal page than your business page.
So you're putting it on your personal first, and then you're sharing it to your business page?
I am putting it on personal page first, yeah, and then I just started putting it on the business page in probably the last 2 weeks, and before that I hadn't put it on the business page at all.
Yeah.
And so now I've added it to the business page as well. The great thing about the business page is that you can add the captions in Facebook from your business page, right? And that can be helpful for getting more views. So.
All right, so tell us about that, adding captions. How are you doing that?
And so Facebook does it automatically. And so that's a great feature of a Facebook business page. If you add a video, you can add the caption automatically, which allows people, which will get you more viewership because, maybe people are watching in an office, right? Or, however it might be. If they see the caption, they're more likely to kind of stick around for a smidge longer and can help on that. So Facebook does it automatically. I believe there's a function on YouTube in which you can have YouTube caption your videos, and then you could potentially share it other ways. But as far as I'm using it right now, just for Facebook business page on the caption.
Yeah, and the point about that you're referring to is that the statistic is roughly 80% plus of the videos watched on Facebook are watched in silent mode. At least in the beginning, because to your point, people are either in the office or bathroom or wherever they're at, and they're like watching, right? And they're seeing, hey, what's this all about? And if it captures their attention, well, then they'll click the button where it brings the video up and the audio comes on.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So you're using the Facebook has an option to check a box or not, right? Whether you won't want the caption. So that's good. It's very smart.
Mm-hmm.
And generally, it's pretty accurate, the captioning. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, generally it's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, listen, for those people that are like, overly focused on the details, which a lot of loan officers are, it's okay to have if there are a couple of, flubs or missing or misspells on the captioning, people are forgiving of that, and they understand, right, that the captioning is not going to be 100% perfect. So
yeah,
don't get yourself all caught up in that. Okay. So I'm bouncing back and forth between your business and personal page. In general, why did you start doing videos? What was the motivating factor behind it?
I wanted to market to my audience where they were.
Okay, and what does that mean, where they were?
I think I can get more traction to both my realtors who are on my friends page and my personal contacts. I think it's more effective to put a video on Facebook than it is to send them blind emails.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
all right. So how are you using this to communicate with realtors? Is it the Mortgage Minute thing, pretty much, or what?
It is, yeah, yep. So I typically do have a strategy around my audience when I do the Mortgage Minute, right? Whether it's a consumer facing or realtor facing, and sometimes even if it's a consumer facing, I might even try to put a little angle in there for the realtor to understand, okay, if I told my client that, I might, that would help them or help me, or on that front. So that is a thought when I do the video from a script perspective.
Well, what I'm noticing too is your viewership is, I haven't gone back that far, but it's growing pretty strong in terms of your viewership. I'm looking at some of these videos. You got almost 200 videos or views on that one. So here's the thing, right? And I think you know this, is that consistency. If you're going to do the weekly mortgage minute, well, doggone it, you better do a weekly mortgage minute, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
When you first got started, I'm sure you put some videos out there and it was like crickets, right?
Yeah, it was. And I didn't share them right. All right. I posted it to YouTube and then shared a YouTube link on Facebook, right? That's not the right way to do it, because Facebook doesn't want you playing YouTube videos because it takes you off
Right.
Facebook, right? So I did learn some of that in the beginning as well. So
Yeah, man, you got like a bunch in here that are over 200. How do you decide what to talk about in your mortgage minutes?
I decided to talk about that from common questions that you get from borrowers and clients. That's a great way to do it. Jot those down if you're in in that. Then again, I shared with you, I listen to your podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so anytime I hear something on the podcast, I have Evernote on the phone. So I flip over, I got a little section, mortgage minute ideas on my Evernote. And then so I just quick jot it into Evernote and say, hey, here's the one sentence I'd like to cover, off that topic.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, so it's that, your podcast. I also listen to a couple other mortgage podcasts, and that's where some of the ideas come from.
Nice, nice. Good. Well, glad to be able to help. It sounds like, when you shared that tip about, not sharing a video from YouTube to Facebook, it's funny, man. There's still a lot of people that are unaware of that. So thank you for pointing that out, that, there's this, like I do this class on video and stuff. And, one of the things you got to keep in mind is that there's a battle going on between Facebook and YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube owned by Google. And yeah, so Facebook doesn't like you said, right? If you're gonna put a link from YouTube video on Facebook, that means you're taking those eyeballs off of, if they're gonna click over to watch that thing on YouTube, and they don't want that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. So you got a nice mix of personal and business. Looks like you're following the 80-20 rule on your personal page, with 80% of it being personal.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was way more active on my personal social Facebook page prior to the last year or so. And I started my own mortgage broker shop here in Kalamazoo, and so my personal post on the Facebook page has gone down dramatically as I've become a little busier. So.
Well, and so here's the interesting thing, though. I'm glad you're sharing the videos, though, over to your business page, because you don't want it to be like a graveyard over there. And the challenge with the business page, as many people know, is kind of the engagement, right? Isn't what it used to be, and that's because the real, I don't know how to say this accurately, other than you've got to have the business page and personal page. Somebody asked me that just the other day on a call. It's like, hey, do I need to have a business page? Yes, you need to have a business page, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a business professional, and people, right, are going to come check your business page out. So you need to have content there.
Absolutely.
The thing to keep in mind is, don't look for the same level of engagement, to your point, Kris, as you do on your personal page, because for the way Facebook works, they want you to pay for that on the business page by boosting ads and things like that, which is really not the intent of this chat. It'll be a future one. Yeah. Okay, cool. What's next for you with video, man? What do you want to do next?
Yeah, next is I need to get better on call to actions, right? And maybe some type of lead capture form. And so I'm exploring some options there to, how can you, kind of, correlate those, whether is it a landing page, is it a click call to action, is it, messaging, and trying to get some more effective use out of that from a direct to consumer marketing perspective. And then also, there's some ways where I could email blast the mortgage minute on every Friday, from a database, whether that, because I use Jungo and I also use BombBomb. And so it'd be fairly easy for me to, push the mortgage minute out there to all past clients and current realtors as well. So that's some future ideas that I have to potentially, give it some more traction. So.
I agree. That is a great idea to repurpose that video, as I'm sure you know, right? Put that video into BombBomb, and then you email that to your database.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
And you just gave me another idea. It's like, everybody talks about farming your past database of clients to get referrals, et cetera. And of course, video, right? If you want more engagement, more response, video is gonna move that needle for you, particularly if it's an email.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I'd like to do more video, and maybe expand it to a 2-week segment, one would be a 30-second segment, on a weekly basis. That's more in a humor basis type of video, making fun of something within the mortgage industry,
Right.
like a common misconception and just making it a humor type of video. And so that's an interesting thing that I think I might try to look forward into the future as well. So,
have you thought about doing anything Facebook Live?
I have, and it's an interesting concept. I could certainly do it, the Mortgage Minute Live, and yeah, so because you certainly can get more views, I think, if you do it live, right? Because they're going to push it more. That's higher in their algorithm.
Right.
So it's certainly a concept, but I do like the little bit of transitioning and framing that you can do in iMovie. So I'm tied to that, to some degree. I do like a lot of kind of what Brian Stevens and Frank Gray at the National Real Estate Post are doing with some of their live broadcasting with call to actions. They're really, really good at lead capture from that point, and that's who I had initially reached out to this year. I went to their video boot camp, right? And they have some great ideas and strategy behind that. I haven't been able to fully implement that yet, just because the pre-app 1003 function that they use for that, I'm teched out to some degree between all the different functions that I have. And I use Flowify for my current application kind of point of sale transaction.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want to do pre-app 1003 and Flowify at the same time.
Yeah.
And,
no reason to.
No. Mm-hmm. So that's some more ideas and kind of thoughts on how I want to potentially do Facebook Live in the future and how I could do that. So.
Well, yeah, one idea I have for you is consider interviewing a couple of real estate agents, and talk about topical issues such as how to get your offer accepted in this market, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not sure your situation in your local market, you know what it is.
Yeah. Yep.
But obviously that's pretty easy to do in your office where you're at right now. Flip the switch, go live, and just, have 5 questions prepared and, start out with a simple 5-10 minute show, and it'll grow from there, man. Yeah.
And another idea that I have for potential in the future, 2018 maybe, or 2019 now, I should say, is Small Business Saturday.
Yes.
Right? And so maybe interview another small business owner in Greater Kalamazoo and just give them, a good little plug. So
love that, man. All right, cool. So how should people find you online if they want to start checking you out? You can give out, your Facebook page or website, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, so website is esthomemortgage.com, and then Facebook, personal is Kris McWilliams, and then the business page is EST Home Mortgage, like you mentioned earlier in the interview here. So
awesome. Well, people, I definitely encourage to check Kris out. Follow him on Facebook. Give him some love. Give him some likes on those videos and stuff. And hey, you know what? Model what he's doing. It's a simple concept, but look, that's the best thing about it, right? It's simple and it works. Right? Because the Mortgage Minute, anybody could talk about the Mortgage Minute, the weekly updates, and hopefully you guys got some value from today's session. And let's stay connected as you continue to grow this thing. I'm here to help you any way I can with ideas or resources or whatever. You just let me know, man.
Yeah, sounds great, Jeff. I always appreciate the podcast and everything that you bring to the community too. So.
You bet. And so for you listeners, we're going to sign off right now. Thanks for listening or watching. More good stuff, more video to come for you guys. And always appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.